Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys. What are you talking about?
Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. This is episode 141. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. Burley and Carl, hey, good morning to you out there in the West. Yes, it is, of course, 11 p.m. out here in Japan. And out here in Japan today and tomorrow, they're having, my city is out here, is having their annual summer festival. So it's like a big, parade, and then they have like a portable shrine, near the big shrine that's in our city here. So there's a lot of people. It's gonna be hot and humid, and a bunch of people running around. So I'm just gonna stay here and play video games. So,
it's a good choice.
It's a very good choice. Yeah. Instead of being out in like 35-degree heat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then probably in the evening, it might rain a little bit. So who knows? But it's an annual event out here in my home city. So how you guys doing? Burley, how are you?
I'm good, but are you sure you should be inside? You should go out around there. You never know. There could be a palace there.
I've done it like over 10 times, and I'm tired of it. And I've like I said, I've lived. I've been in that situation before. So I've been out there. Yeah, I've been out here for over 20 years. So yeah, I mean, I've just been there, done that. Yeah,
I don't blame you. Yeah. For me, it's a little warm, but not too bad. I'm hoping tomorrow's not too warm. Gonna plan to go to Niagara Falls tomorrow.
Really?
My parents. Yeah.
Nice.
Niagara Falls is a lot. It's a lot of fun. Good for, if you like walking. It's a lot of good walking, and just do that. And we're hoping to do the under the Niagara Falls, go behind the falls, because like the crew, the little boat you used to take that you could do it and go near the falls and all that. It's skyrocketed. It used to be like $40-$50. It's now like about $200 a person. That's like,
oh my god.
Yeah, where you can walk behind the falls for an adult for like 24 Canadian.
Sounds good.
Oh, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have that on the American side, the walk behind thing. That might just be because of where you are on that side.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I've never done that. I it's close by, so I could go.
I'll let you know how it is. Yeah,
I got my ID. I can go
into falls.
I got my special ID that lets me just go into Canada, and I don't need a passport.
Nice.
There you go. Nice. All right, we got a great show for you here on episode 141. We're going to be talking about Zelda sales numbers. We're going to be talking about Star Wars Jedi Survivor and it coming to last-gen consoles. And of course, our topic of the show, we're going to be talking about Gamescom for 2023 in Cologne, Germany. So what we expect to see out of Gamescom, that's going to be our topic of the show in this episode. And then, of course, our new game release picks of the week for the week of August 7th through the 13th. I almost said July. It's like we're already done with that. I can't believe we're already in the second half of the year, guys.
Yeah.
So it's just going so fast. But anyway, before we get into all that and the games that we've been playing this past week, here is a brief word about where you can find the podcast in video and audio formats.
Before the crew discuss what they have been playing, this episode of The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast's ad-free version in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month and get every episode including exclusive ad-free post-show content in video format when recorded, please visit patreon.com/thearenaproductions for further details. The audio version of the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, and in the video version, it will be on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app and search for The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Productions, where you can join and chat with the Arena Productions community, and the podcast audio website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at www.thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena Productions. Now, back to the show.
And like I said in the last episode, I am not changing Twitter. It's going to stay Twitter. I don't care about the X. It's going to stay Twitter. So anyway, you guys can figure it out. I'm sure that's, So anyway.
I've been using Threads, and
how is it?
Good. I like it. It's
really
good. It's lacking in some features, but they've been adding stuff.
Nice.
They just fixed something that really bugged me. Was like when you click on a photo
mm-hmm.
and you want to zoom in on it, like usually you pinch and zoom, but it stays, right? But this is more like Instagram, where you try to zoom in on something. If you let go, it just goes back.
Okay.
But they fixed it. Now you can zoom in and it stays. You can double tap and it'll zoom in. So I'm like, thank you. That's great. And apparently they're going to add the search function and a web version of Threads.
I was just about to ask, is there the web version? Because I don't want a mobile app for it.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. It's coming soon. That's cool.
Nice.
And of
I
course,
still can't believe you launched with no search function.
I honestly think they launched early to capitalize on what was going on with Twitter at that time.
The downfall of Twitter at this point.
What's that? Oh yeah. It's super easy, by the way, to change the icon and name back on Android to Twitter. So I've done that.
Yeah.
I haven't been using it much since. So I hate that.
Yeah. All right, so it's time to talk about the games that we've been playing. Obviously, I've been continuing with Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And if you love running across walls and jumping, this game is definitely for you. I'm not going to get so much into it because I'm still in the middle of it. I'm probably about 15 hours into the game now. Burley, you can attest to this because you've played through it. Lots of wall running and jumping. And there was one point where I almost got dizzy. I mean, just running, jumping. There's a part in the game, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a character from the previous game that you are working with. And this particular character has some pretty cool and specific powers that character lends to you. And boy, oh boy, it just makes you dizzy as hell. I mean, loving running across the walls and then back and forth and skipping and then, but it just, if you have sensitive fingers, I mean, this game could give you some serious blisters on using the controller. So it's fun, but I'm really enjoying it. So Burley, you can attest to that, right?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, try playing it with Streamloots cards, and when you're doing all these running and people make you put the controller down, you jump and you fall and die and all that.
No, thank you. That would be Blister City for sure. Yeah, it's like trying to get through the game with all that. Okay, Burley, it's your turn. What have you been playing?
I've been playing the main game, being Pikmin 4. Still been streaming it. I'm getting through. We're getting close. I've got to the last area. Man, some of these dungeons they can get annoying. Mm-hmm. And then when you specifically have to switch your Pikmin so much, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, you brought this many into the dungeon. You can't bring any more in, and whatever you brought in is what you're getting, and the few you'll find there. And then, oh, we have this because we're introducing a new Pikmin type in this dungeon here. You've got to now switch. Think about which ones you're switching into that new type." Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh. And then like some of the puzzles of you just having to switch between you and the dog and leading groups of Pikmin. It's just like, okay, this is a little much. Mm-hmm. But I'm still enjoying the game.
Nice. All right. And Carl, how about you? What have you been playing recently?
I'm still actually no. I finished Wolfenstein New Colossus.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I got to the end. Really good. It's hard for me to say like which one's better, the first or the second. I think the narrative overall in the first game was more interesting. I think it told a better overall story, but the second game has a bunch of really amazing sort of standout moments that happen. So it's also really good. The story is not there's anything wrong with the story. It's just very much like in sort of the middle of like a longer, tale, and it's just like that middle portion where there isn't anything like amazing going on with like plot. It's just sort of like actiony stuff getting to the point.
Have you played Wolfenstein Youngblood?
So that's the one I was going to try next.
Yeah.
And I did install it and played not long enough to really say too much about it. I mean, from what I've seen so far, it feels like the same type of game. I know there's the obvious sort of RPG-ish elements that they added. You get some choices in the beginning of things.
Right.
The two characters, they're not really different, but you get to choose like your starting weapon and a starting ability that you have.
Right.
It does that thing I hate of games where they're like, it's online co-op. So like you start the game and it's like, do you want to host? Do you want to join? I'm like, no, I just want to play your damn game.
Oh, you can't just select single player and then just start right into the campaign. You go in the campaign, it's going to constantly prompt you.
Well,
I hate
you
when
can.
games
So I can then, once I get to that screen, then I can choose, all right, I'm going to host. And then when I choose host, I was looking through the options and the options is offline. I'm like, thanks. But like, couldn't there have been a separate option somewhere on the main menu, like offline, single player only? That'd have been nice.
Yeah.
And I don't, those extra steps just like always irritate me. I remember, what did I try? Gears 4? I think Gears of War 4 was like that, where I felt like I was playing an online game, and I'm like, I know I'm not. Can I just like start the story on the single player, please?
Yeah.
So it had that stuff, but the beginning of the cutscenes are fine. I know people don't like the two main characters. That's a criticism. The two girls, which
the two sisters. Yeah,
I can sort of see that already. But I haven't gotten too much, but I'm also sort of understanding it. Like I get why people wouldn't like it, but I also get they're in the 80s, right? And they are children raised by like, sort of militant parents who are, who they don't have. It's not like they have like friends and lives, right? Like, they're raised in this war time where the Nazis have taken over the world. Like, I don't expect them to be normal people.
Kind of militant, Carl.
Yeah, like, they're being trained from like a young age to like kill Nazis, So like, if you think they were going to be normal people, that doesn't make sense. So I'm sort of okay with them having.
There's nothing normal about this type of story. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So.
The other characters in the other games, like people grew up in the normal world, and then the world got screwed up. So like
pre-war.
Right. So anyway, that's it.
All right. So it's time to move on to the So
I was going to say, your cat excited for Stray coming soon.
Yeah. The militant cat.
Yes.
How old is your cat now, Carl? 17?
She's 19.
19. Wow. 19. Well, I hope Thomas gets to reach 19 at some point. Yeah, he's only 5 now, but
got a long way to go.
A long way to go. Yeah. So awesome. All right, it's time to get to the weekly news beat. So first up,
right back. I'm just gonna get her out of here. She's like,
yeah, no problem. So Burley and I will go ahead and start up the first story. So we're going to be talking about Zelda. So not Breath of the Wild, but Tears of the Kingdom we're going to be talking about here, because we got a big story about the sales numbers for that. So I'm going to go ahead and start up some of the gameplay from Tears of the Kingdom here, so you can check that out as we read the story. And I will put the link below to the story that I'm referring to here from gamingbolt.com. So sold over 18.5 million units. So The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has sold over 18.5 million units worldwide as of June 30th. The updated sales figures for the open world title were announced by Nintendo during its recent quarterly earnings briefing. Tears of the Kingdom sold over 10 million units within 3 days of release and clearly has continued to sell at an impressive rate in the weeks since then. According to Nintendo, Tears of the Kingdom constitute roughly half of all first-party software sales for the company during quarter one of the current fiscal year, April through June, with those who have previously played its predecessor, Breath of the Wild, being the, quote, primary driver, end quote, for sale. However, Nintendo says that in the weeks following launch, quote, a growing percentage of purchases are being made by consumers who have not yet played, end quote, the 2017 game, which is really interesting, I thought. So interesting, Tears of the Kingdom has also instantly become the 9th highest selling first-party Switch game to date, sitting just behind Super Mario Party with a gap of less than 1 million units. And it'll be interesting to see if it surpasses those and becomes the #1 top-selling Nintendo first-party Switch title. And also Nintendo announced that the Switch has sold over 129.5 million units worldwide. So anyway, let's talk about this. So it's interesting how it talks. I'll start with you, Burley, on this, that a lot of the growing percentage of purchases have been made by people that didn't even play Breath of the Wild. I thought that was interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's interesting, but not surprising. You can start this game up and have no knowledge of Breath of the Wild, and you'll be fine, and can just dive right in. It's not surprising. This game has been getting, the word of mouth has been spreading, and Nintendo, to their credit, they still keep running the ads on YouTube. I still, whenever I'm watching YouTube content, I always am still getting the ads of Tears of the Kingdom coming out, and it's like, wow. And I'm hoping it beats out Super Mario Party, because if that's the one I'm thinking it was, the first Mario Party on the Switch, that game was horrible. So I'm hoping Tears of the Kingdom beats it. But yeah, there's constantly, for me, still streaming and playing this game. I'm still getting people telling me, yeah, I'm just started and all that. Wow. And people are very interested. People are interested into this game.
Wow. Carl, what are your thoughts on these sales numbers here?
I mean, it's super impressive. I still always just wonder, like, how do these games sell so much on like these Switch games? I mean, it's wild. They keep doing it.
Well, they're popular generationally. I mean, you've got a bunch of kids that are starting to play video games for the first time now. They're, of course, friends and their parents played Zelda, so they're being, indoctrinated into this this world and these games. And yeah, obviously the sales numbers reflect that.
I suppose when you say that, the kids thing, that does sort of make sense. Like, it does appeal to a lot of age groups because it has those elements of games that kids play now, which are things like Minecraft and Roblox.
Mm-hmm.
Like those things they kind of grew up on now, instead of because we grew up on like old school Mario and those platformers. Mm-hmm. And you sort of expected things like, I don't know, Ratchet and Clank, right, to be mega popular in that regard, but they aren't anymore. Kids don't play those games anymore. Kids play, open-ended sort of sandboxy things now. And that's what this is. So I guess they hit all the right elements.
Well, this
yeah. Go ahead, Burley. Yeah.
I was going to say, this game, you are only limited by your creativity. Like, I was about 2 weeks ago, or maybe a week and a half ago, I was playing the one of the temples, the fire temple, and there was one way they wanted me to do the puzzle to help me do it. I found another way because I was like, I bet I can just bounce this and do this. It was the harder way to do it, but I found the way and did it my way, and I got through.
Yeah.
So that you're like, for a lot of the puzzles and stuff you have to do, there is no just set one way to do it. If you want to try and do it this way, you can. Yeah. And just like the building, the crafting and all that, and building all the stuff, like you said, Expat, that just appeals to the younger generation. For me, it's cool. I'm not that creative, and I suck at building stuff, as Reaper here in chat can tell you.
Yeah. Welcome on in, Reaper. Thanks for coming on in, man. So, go ahead, Carl.
I just want to see this game in high resolution. Like, I'm watching this footage and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I know also watching it through the stream is not the best either. But every time I see this game, like visually speaking, it's nice art style. But yeah, technically speaking, it's not there. And Switch 2 is coming soon. But I have doubts that they will do a like it's backwards compatible and it's upgraded for higher resolution. Like I feel like they're like, nah, we're gonna sell it to you again or something.
Well, it's interesting
No,
you say that. It's interesting you say that because I mean the people that are into the technical side of things. Maybe that's why the Switch, when it comes to Tears of the Kingdom, why it already has not become the number one selling first party title of all time on the Switch. There's maybe people out there that they're holding back on this because they want the technical aspects of it to improve, and maybe the Switch 2 will do that. Who knows? Go ahead, Burley. You were going to say.
Yeah, that I'm not surprised. I've had people ask me, they're like, I still don't have a Switch yet. Should I go in now? And I'm at this point, I say,
Oh, yeah.
wait till next year. Well, because you don't know how Nintendo is going to do. Because we've got there's the rumors we're going to get the Switch 2 mid next year in the second half. So that it'd be interesting to see. I'm hoping they keep with backwards compatibility. And for the love of God, when they make the new games for the Switch 2, get your online freaking servers better. Because those are a joke at this point. That they're charging for, even though they're charging the least out of all the subscriptions, the amount they're still charging for it. And it's like, I've played games that have free servers that run way better than Nintendo's.
Yeah.
I don't really expect them to change that.
Yeah, no,
we'll see.
that's a fool's errand. But I can hope.
Yeah. I don't know why they don't put more effort into that or spend more resources on that.
Yeah. All right. So next story, we're going to talk about Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's a game that I've been playing, and we got some news on that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the video here of the gameplay. And of course, this is the link for all of you video viewers for www.theverge.com. So for all of you audio listeners, you can go to The Verge and check out this story. So it seems like Jedi Survivor is going to be coming to last-gen consoles. So Star Wars Jedi Survivor will be released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. EA CEO Andrew Wilson announced during the company quarter one earnings call on Tuesday. So a lot of quarter one earnings calls from a lot of these, studios and, from the big developers. So the game launched in April on PS5, Xbox Series X and Series S and PC, but skipped Sony and Microsoft's older hardware. So with this new release, people who haven't upgraded to the newer consoles will eventually be able to check out the game. However, we don't know exactly when Jedi Survivor will be coming to older consoles. So here's what Andrew Wilson said about the release. Quote, "Thanks to the strength of this legendary franchise and community demand, our development team has committed to bringing this Jedi experience to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One," end quote. So, Carl, I'll start with this with you on this one. Why do you think they're doing this other than the fact that they want to make more money off of it? And do you think it'll be able to run well on last gen hardware?
Yeah, I think that part they'll make it happen. The first game ran well on the previous. I mean, relatively, if you want to say it. Like it was a good enough experience on the base consoles, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. The people who aren't really that concerned about the technical aspects might still be playing on PS4 and Xbox One. If you are, you're probably not on those platforms, right? So they'll do it. Why are they doing it? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have to assume that sales numbers maybe are not quite where they want them. I think it's sold well enough, but I think they're like, well, we could get a bit more out of it probably with this without putting too much into it, right? To make that happen.
Mhm.
So it's probably just sort of sounds like a very businessy financial decision of like, yeah, how do we squeeze a little bit more out of it? Well, put it on more platforms.
Yeah.
I really don't know who's still playing on those platforms. Seems weird to me at this point. But a lot of devs are doing it. So many people, a lot of people keep talking about how like, oh, if they put out mid-gen, refreshes for these other consoles, right, PS5 and Series X, like the devs are going to have to work on so many platforms. I'm like, but they're already choosing to work on Xbox One, PS4, Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, Switch, right,
Yeah.
PCs of all kinds of different levels. I mean, plus the new consoles. Like they're already making these games, most games for that many platforms, right? There are very few amount of games that are only on current gen, and this was one of them, and it's not going to be for long.
Yeah. Burley, your thoughts?
Oh, this is I'm reading in between the lines on this. I think this game did not sell nearly as well as the first. Like I'm sure this sold well, but
Yeah.
like we haven't heard them talk about sales numbers on this game. And it's like, yeah, I think they are doing this because they're like, okay, because even though next gen consoles are selling more, it still hasn't picked up for everyone because let's face it, these next gens, not everyone can afford with everything that's going on in the world and everything. So they're trying at this point, okay, if we can get this to come out for PS4, Xbox One, we could potentially get another, I don't know, 5 million sales because there were enough of an install base from people liking it, playing it on the first game on PS4 and Xbox One.
Which they will need for development costs to create the third game, which that they're going to make a trilogy out of it. There's going to be a third game, I think so.
Oh yeah. Well, if you beat the game and you get the ending, it's like, yeah, they've set this up for a trilogy, which I'm still like, I like the game and I like the story. I still think the first one didn't have to have a sequel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Did you guys see Hogwarts Legacy? How that ran and what the differences were on the next gen and then the old gen versions?
Burley, did you see that? I didn't.
No, I haven't, but I've heard from one person that I know in my community that only has a PS4. They have a base PS4. They said it ran fine on on PS4, and I have no doubt.
Yeah, if you watch
You're
a
just
video,
getting you're just gonna get like the flashy, better loading and stuff with the PS5 and series consoles.
it's really interesting because if you watch the videos on things that they've changed a lot of like objects and environmental things, right? They're changing the complexity of things in the environment, and you might not notice them unless someone points it out. Like they do a good job of like changing objects completely to a different shape, even though it looks kind of similar, so that it just uses less resources, basically. So they'll do that for this game, and it'll run, and Hogwarts. I'm still waiting to see how the Switch version runs. That's not even out yet.
If you want to play Hogwarts Legacy on the go, just get it for the Steam Deck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
if you have a Steam Deck, I will bet 1,000 cases of spiritual opium it'll run way better on the Steam Deck compared to the Switch.
Okay, Burley.
But
be careful what you wish for, man.
I think there's an interesting conversation to be had about where current gen games are, because when you look at a game like this and it was current gen only, and now they're like, well, maybe it's not. Like we can run it on the old consoles, which kind of tells you that they didn't really make what we would have called a next gen game, right?
Yeah.
They seem to be doing a lot of games where they're making it so that it, if you optimize it, it will run really well on current gen, and if you then force it, you can make it run on the other consoles, right? But like they're sort of, I feel like they're just sort of like, well, it's if we make it this way, it'll be easier to get it on current gen, and we're not really pushing the envelope so much as trying to make something that we can run like 60 frames per second, on current gen. The few games that have only had 30 frames per second, which was like Gotham Knights and Plague Tale Requiem, and then Starfield. Like they did try to do things that clearly wouldn't work on previous hardware, right? Which was like the untethered co-op, the sheer number of rats in that game, which, like I said, didn't really add to the experience, but in my opinion. But like, definitely those processors could not handle that amount, right? Things like that. The medium, right? That was another one where, like, again, those old consoles could not do those simultaneous views at the same time. Like, there's not the capability to make that happen. And I see that with like something like Spider-Man 2 also, where like they're trying to make that 60 frames per second, and it just looks to me like it's kind of a PS4 game, and I feel like if you tried, you could make it run on PS4. But since you wanted to run 60 frames per second, you made it that way on PS5, right? Because if you tried to push the visual envelope or even technical other aspects, of gaming, that who knows what, I don't know what Starfield's doing exactly, but maybe you wouldn't have been able to run it at 60. So
and then reload times, also the SSD. Burley talks a lot about how Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart really took advantage of the SSD. I'm sure Spider-Man 2 is going to take advantage of that as well. And I'm really excited to see how Starfield is going to run on the Series X when it comes to reload times. It'll be interesting to see.
Loading times. I mean, like, I don't really think the loading time thing is like that significant.
It's not significant, but I'm just interested to see, how fast it will reload. Like if there's a death or something. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, just saving us a little bit of time. But like, is that? I don't feel like, oh, gaming is so much better because like I have to wait less time between deaths. I'm like, it's it's like a luxury.
It's a luxury, but it's something that a lot of gamers have wished for a long time, and now it's getting better. It's improving. So
well, like open world stuff, like I get it takes a while to load, but like when you play stuff like Crash 4. When that launched on PS4 and Xbox One, some of the load times on that were like between stages, it was like, okay, do it while I'm loading up a stage. What should I just go up, go get a beer, get a drink from the fridge? Should I go call my mom quick?
You just pop on your phone. You got, you go on Threads or Discord or something,
Yeah, in the chat, I want to mention what Cammy Reaper 147 says. He says, "I know a lot of people who don't have next gen stuff. While I did manage to get a Series X, I still won't be getting PS5 anytime soon. So sticking with the PS4. I got this on my Xbox though, so I won't be buying for a PS4. Laugh out loud. But I mean, there's a lot of people like that out there, Reaper. That they have one of the current gen consoles, and they still have with the other platform, they have the past gen, the last gen console. So I mean, there's a lot of people out there like you that are gonna just play on one platform for a current gen. So all right, so with that, it's time to jump into our topic of the show. So obviously, in a couple of weeks, we got Gamescom coming up again in Cologne, Germany. So we're going to talk now about, what we expect to see out of Gamescom this year. Of course, we've got Jeff Keighley's opening night live again. We've got, of course, Xbox is going to have a huge display in Cologne this year. So can you guys see that image? There we go. All right. So I mean, Xbox, basically they're gonna have like over 30 games across 150 game stations, which is amazing. But what's interesting about this is you're not gonna have a playable Starfield on the showroom floor. which is leaving
Nani?
a lot of people. Yeah, and I want to throw this to you, Carl, because there's a lot of people in the media now that are saying, "Oh no, this is a negative sign, and it's probably because Todd Howard is trying to cover all of the bugs that are going to be in the game when it launches, and then it might be like another Redfall situation." What do you think of the fact that they're not going to have a playable version of Starfield on the showroom floor there, because the game is going to be releasing like a week or two after Gamescom?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really surprised. It's not the kind of game that you can really have a demo kind of version of. So, like, what really would they be giving somebody? Like, okay, here, you can just play the full game. Like, just start running around. Like, I don't think that's what they want out there right now, because a lot of that will then get spread, to people. People will record it, or people will be talking about that. In the meantime, like at that point, I'm sure review copies, or at least I hope, review copies are already out when that's happening, right? Because that's the last sort of week in August there.
Yeah.
So
but they will be showing it. They will be showing it in a 300-seat theater, though.
Right. They're going to show something interesting, I hope, in the theater. Maybe we'll hear, some new feature thing that we didn't know about, is going to get shown.
Yeah.
The more surprising one to me is that Forza isn't playable there.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
That seems like something that makes sense for an event like that, because, like, you just give them a couple of races to play. Set up booths
or have
with like
a few
steering wheels
people
and stuff.
race each other.
Yeah, that's the one that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it seems like they're just going to focus on games coming out in 2023 or early 2024. So they're saying there's no mention of Fable or like Avowed or like
Hellblade
South of
playable.
Midnight. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's generally what Gamescom is. Like, the show floor is, stuff you play there is definitely going to be stuff that's not too far off.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because Towerborn is going to be playable there, and I would assume then that means it's probably sometime early next year.
Yeah, and new content for Elder Scrolls Online, I think, is going to be playable, as well as Flight Simulator. So,
yeah, there's a lot of interesting. Oh, Infinity Strash is going to be playable there, and I'm like, oh, that's a Square Enix game playable at the Xbox booth. Okay, here we go. Right?
Yeah, and Persona 5 Tactica is going to be there as well. So, yeah. So, Burley, what do you think about the Microsoft side of things?
Yeah, Starfield's not playable. Oh no, this game's gonna be another Cyberpunk. Get rid of Game Pass. Cancel.
Hey, you mentioned Cyberpunk. It's playable there with the expansion.
Yeah.
Phantom Liberty.
I hope people know I was joking there and not
No, Burley wasn't joking. No, he wasn't. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, joking, Burley. Yeah. Go on.
I think it's fine, like Carl said, because, like, what do you want to do? Do you want them to be like, okay, we're gonna put you in on this random base? You have the choice of working with the pirates that own this base, or just going in and killing them. Okay, oh, you tried to go outside. We got to take the controller from you. Like, right. It's like just having a weird, because, like, whatever you give them, if you gave them a small area to play, they're like, that's great. I want to see them play more. Well, sorry, you can't. Oh man, this game's why would I play this demo? Wasted my time, gave me 15-minute little area that I cleared through. I want to play more.
Burley, I have a question for you. Why is PlayStation not at Gamescom again?
I don't get with Sony with what they've done.
I mean, why not show more of Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, that is the one that I don't get. Like, they went to Comic-Con, showed Spider-Man 2, which made sense. Like, I know they don't have much other than Spider-Man 2 being their big thing for this year. You'd think they would at least send Insomniac down for this, whether it not be playable or not, or just come in for a hall appearance and here you go, 300 people, you can see some exclusive stuff.
Well, you have to expect that in Keeley's show, there's going to be some PlayStation games shown off there. I mean, maybe more of Spider-Man 2, but yeah.
Well,
I'm sure first
I'm
party.
sure we'll get. I'm sure we'll get another trailer for Spider-Man 2. Whether or not we get more gameplay, who knows?
Yeah.
But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. We got more info on Project Q and those earbuds, because those are supposed to launch some point this year. Like, we've gotten the accessibility controllers release date and price.
Yeah.
And that's coming out in I think December 4th, around there.
Yeah.
These two other things have not. We don't have more info on them. Don't have pricing yet. They're supposed to be coming, and this event's at the end of near the end of August. So it's like, I would imagine give the info then at least.
Carl, what do you expect out of Keeley's show for opening night live?
I'm trying to think, what really would show up, because this. I don't know, Gamescom isn't really the event that usually has big reveals. So I don't know. It's probably gonna be stuff that's relatively close, right? That we haven't seen maybe too much of, but we have already seen. I mean, is Ubisoft stuff gonna be there? Yeah. Maybe like Assassin's Creed Mirage or the Star Wars Outlaws game, maybe a bit more of that.
I think we're gonna get a
no Skull and Bones.
We're gonna get a
Skull and Bones.
Oh, goodness, yeah. We're gonna get a heavy dose of Armored Core. I think
Armored Core,
because that's From Software, and you know how Keely's, he loves From Software. So
the Elden Ring DLC.
The Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like every showcase we were like, that's where we're gonna see it. That's where we're gonna see it, and it just doesn't happen.
Dang, I don't have a D20 near me. I was gonna grab a D20 if I had one near me and roll it and see what's our chance here.
Yeah, what's the difficulty check? Is it like 15 or higher?
Yeah.
Seems like it's a hard one.
No. 15's too low. 17 or higher.
17 or higher. Okay. Yeah. It's very difficult.
Okay, so I want to talk about Nintendo now, because Nintendo is coming back to Gamescom. And what's interesting is there's been some reports that multiple studios already have development kits for the Switch 2. And there are some stories floating around out there now that basically Gamescom is going to be where Nintendo is going to announce the Switch 2. And then there will most likely be another direct, possibly after Gamescom, Burley, that is going to show more of the details of the actual hardware. But it looks like the Switch 2 will be announced at Gamescom. What do you guys think of that?
I don't think they'll announce it at Gamescom. I think they will do a direct after Gamescom and announce it. That I can see, because that's how the Switch 1, when we got that revealed, they revealed it just out of nowhere and did like a Nintendo Direct, a big Direct. And I remember it was like a late night thing, because I remember the Direct I think started at like 8 or 9 p.m. I'm watching it live. But we'll have Nintendo there. I think they're going to be showing off their games we already know. Like, we got Mario Wonder, you got Mario RPG. Those are their big games they have for this holiday, as well as you could get we still have one wave of Mario Kart DLC. I think one thing of Splatoon 3 DLC still waiting on.
Okay.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got stuff like that they could show.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there's anything else, because I know there's some games early 2024 they may show a little bit, but they may just wait till after Mario and all that stuff is done.
Anything on Metroid, you think?
I don't think we're gonna hear anything Metroid this year. I think if we're gonna hear anything Metroid, it's next year.
Metroid Prime 2 remastered.
That we could get, because I know Prime 1 did well, both physically and digitally. So
yeah. I mean, Nintendo, they control their own message, and they've been doing that for a long time now.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to announce anything major, unless, like Riley was saying, they do a direct around this before it even, so that whatever they want to actually have on the show floor, they would have already announced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
we
we've
shall
got
see.
a Pokemon event next week on
on Tuesday.
August, Tuesday, August 8th. So I don't even think we'll really have anything Pokemon related. That they may show some stuff like the Scarlet and Violet DLC, but I imagine most Pokemon stuff we're going to get for the next bit. It's all in this Pokemon Presents.
Yeah. Another developer, that I want to bring up also, the company Bandai Namco, obviously. Of course, Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, of course, with From Software, that's going to be heavily shown during the events, but also Naruto and Boruto, of course, Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections, they were going to be showing that, I think, as well. And then, of course, Tekken 8. I think that's going to be a big show for Bandai Namco. So, yeah, we'll be looking forward for that as well. So.
And I'm sure they'll announce another Dragon Ball game.
Yeah, probably.
They can't keep. They can't just let the series breathe. Every 2 to 3 years, they've got to get another Dragon Ball game out.
Yeah.
Was that Sandland game? Was that Bandai Namco?
Sandland, I think it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll probably be there.
And it's going to be playable for the very first time in Europe. So yeah, those out there in Cologne. Yes, we'll
I'm very curious
about that. Yeah,
about that one.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, so maybe we'll get a big surprise and we'll get the Switch 2 announcement there. Yeah, maybe at Keighley show, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it. But yeah. But there's always been surprises. So, like the Xbox Series X was announced at the Game Awards. So who knows? You never know.
Just wait and see.
Yeah.
Oh, and Reaper says they've announced Budokai Tenkaichi 4 a few months back, but it was just a teaser clip, so hopefully there's more info on that. That's right. Yeah, I forgot they had announced another one.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
Is Square Enix there? They'll probably be at. Oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah. So and we'll probably get some Yakuza, like a Dragon related news because
Sega's there, so you're gonna get Sega. Sonic Superstar.
Yeah,
the release date has been leaked, but they're not fully committing to it. So it's that's supposed to be coming this year. So you got that, the one Yakuza game, and I know they got some. You've got the Persona game. Persona 5 Tactics.
Yeah, Tactica. Yeah, Persona 5 Tactica. Yes. Yeah.
I want to see the Front Mission 3 remaster remake thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We've seen the first one's out. The second one, did they show that already? May have shown the second one.
I think they've shown a teaser for it, but I don't think they've shown anything extensive.
The third one's the one that I really want to see, because that's the one I played, and that's a PS1 era. It was a good one.
One I'd like to see, but I don't think we're gonna get at Gamescom. It'll probably come Tokyo Game Show. Probably that Dragon Quest 3 HD. Because we haven't heard on it or seen anything of that in years.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
That I'm like, okay, is this thing still in development?
It'll come.
Yeah.
Square Enix, they're in a weird place.
Yeah.
They're making changes. They had that. Their quarter one report was pretty bad.
Yeah.
They had a massive drop in operating income.
Yeah. All right. So
new CEO, they'll turn it all around.
Maybe.
Final Fantasy 16 has still been selling well, not gangbusters because it's only on one platform, but it's still sold.
Part of that report implied that the game didn't make a lot of profit because it was very expensive to develop. Which I would not be surprised when we see the budgets of these huge games and they need to sell 3.5-4 million copies is not enough for something like Jedi Survivor, right? Or Hogwarts Legacy, or maybe Zelda. I don't know the budget on that, but Nintendo manages.
I'm sure 18.5 million copies they made a profit on Zelda.
Yeah. Okay. Spider-Man 2, right? If they sold 4 million copies, an average smaller game is like amazing, that was incredible success. Spider-Man 2, that would probably be like, oh damn, we lost money.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, what we expect of Gamescom 2023, of course, for you video viewers, the link is below to gamesradar.com, and the schedule for all of the Gamescom events. And for all of you audio listeners, www.gamesradar.com. You can go and check out the schedule for Gamescom there. So, and of course, here on the Arena Productions, we will be bringing you as much of the news as possible on anything that comes out of Gamescom. Any new games or any new hardware. Switch 2 maybe. But yeah, we will. It's coming, man. It's coming. Yeah, but yeah,
Steam Deck 2 revision.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll be
Portable
bringing you the
Xbox.
news coverage from Gamescom. So, all right, okay. So next up, it's time to talk about our new game releases, and so our new game releases for the week of August 7th through the 13th, and for all of you video viewers, the link is below here, www.releases.com. So for all of you audio listeners, you can go there to releases.com and check out all of the new games that are releasing this coming week. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to go first. So my pick of the week is Hammer of Virtue. Hammer of Virtue. So I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis of all of this when it comes up. Okay, here it is. So a hammer smashing action game with fully destructible levels. So use your hammer. Ooh, my screen just went crazy here. So there we go. Use your hammer for combat or smash the environment to launch debris toward your enemy to create emergent and chaotic gameplay interactions in a wild adventure. So physics-based action adventure with melee. So from No Pest Productions, comes out on August 7th for PC. So what do you guys think of this one? Yeah, hammer time.
Physics stuff like that can be really fun because it'll just make you laugh when the crazy nonsense happens. And look at that. That's a dinosaur with a big old horn smacking you around. That's just fun. Looks fun.
It looks fun. I mean, that's why I picked it. Yeah, it should.
Yeah,
this looks like good, just fun. Just sit,
right,
grab a beer, and just sit down and play. Like
like the Goat Simulator type thing, where it's just kind of like silliness ensuing, and you're having a blast.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. All right, Carl, you are up next. What is your pick of the week?
All right, yes, I chose something a little different called Stray Gods, the role-playing musical, which comes out on August 10th on PC, PS4, 5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. It says murder, gods, romance, band practice. Unravel the mystery of the last muse's death in an interactive role-playing musical where Greek gods live hidden among us. Use your newfound powers of musical persuasion to choose how this wry and moving saga will unfold. How will the curtain fall? And yeah, it has a really good voice cast to it. There's a bunch of big names in there.
Okay.
And I really like this art style. The music is if you could listen to this and you could hear it, the musical stuff is really interesting. It sounds really good. There's some good songs in there, it seems. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of when we had the Star Trek Strange New Worlds musical episode, which I haven't watched yet, but a musical on the brain, and I was like, yeah, this looks like something very interesting and different. That could be really good.
The art style kind of reminds me of The Wolf Among Us a little bit, but
yeah.
So, good stuff. All righty, Burley, you're up next. Dun-dun-dun. What do you have for us?
My pick of the week is WrestleQuest. Tag team with Destiny. Pro wrestling and RPG fantasy collide in the ultimate pixel-powered adventure. Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. And tons of other icons offer guidance as you powerbomb your way to glory beyond the ring. This hero's journey ain't just an epic quest. It's WrestleQuest. Coming Tuesday, August 8th to PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series. Yeah, this game we've talked about a few times on the show. It's been
Good old
shown.
Andre the Giant there.
Just picked up the whole.
Yeah,
thing.
they've got a lot of different nods to some of the greats of wrestling. So this looks. I cannot wait for this game to come out. I've been waiting for a while. The only thing I just kind of hate is like they're like, yeah, you can wish list it. Still have not given the price on any of the platforms.
Huh.
I'm like, I just want to know. Let me know how much I'm shelling out. I'm gonna buy this game.
Yeah, it shows on the end of the trailer here, May 2023, but I guess it was delayed, right, Burley? Yeah.
Yeah, they've delayed it
Yeah.
one or two times, but
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, looks good. That was one I was considering. I almost chose.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really fun. I mean, it's like when I was growing up, I used to go like to my, like the arena close to where I lived in San Francisco, and they used to have the WWF, what were they called? Like summer slams or something like that.
yeah, SummerSlam, the pay-per-view events.
Yeah.
I've been to one or two of those in my life.
But those back in the day, I mean, with Roddy Piper and Ric Flair and Jimmy Superfly Snuka. I remember those guys, man. I mean, it was some classic matches and stuff. Yeah.
It's like back in the day, I remember I went to like one of these as a kid, and they're like untelevised events, right? Like the wrestlers, it's not like they were everything they did was on TV, right? But now I'm pretty sure they only do the televised stuff.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, it's televised, but if you go to these actual events, because like I've been to, I think it was a Raw I did, not a SmackDown, years and years ago. Whenever they would do that stuff behind the stage and stuff, where they're in the WWE offices of that stadium that they're in that town, they would have on the big like jumbotron for the stadium there for you to watch and see what was happening.
Yeah, because all that's pre-recorded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you can go to releases.com to check out the new game releases for this week and all of August. So for all of you audio listeners, www.releases.com. So you can check that out there. Those were our picks of the week. All right. So Carl, you were up next. So we got Game Pass drops for early August. So what do we have for early August on Game Pass?
All right, out already. We have A Short Hike on Cloud Console PC. This one is just a cute indie one that I remember was very highly rated. And then we got August 8th, Broforce Forever.
Yeah, bro.
There you go. That's Burley's game right there, man. Yeah.
Broforce.
That with the wrestle game. Yeah, wrestler game. Yeah.
That's me and Carl are gonna do that, bro.
Bro. This is a side-scrolling sort of run and gun type thing. August 9th, you have Limbo, which, of course, very highly rated indie game from long ago, though. It's kind of really drawing back on that one there.
Hey, I finished it on the Steam Deck last year. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Maybe that means Inside is imminent as well to come to Game Pass.
Also, Inside is also pretty old at this point now. In a few years.
Okay, yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Airborne Kingdom on August 10th. It's Cloud Console PC. Everspace 2.
Yay.
Yeah. This one looks in Cloud and Xbox Series XS only on August 15th.
Yeah. Everspace was great. I mean, I love
playing it. And this is actually the console launch of this game, right? It's already on PC, but this first time it's on console. That one looks interesting because I was looking at like playing some sort of space sim type game in anticipation of Starfield, so maybe I'll try that out. Yeah, and that was kind of it. So not a particularly amazing. Oh, here, you know what's leaving?
Yes, what's leaving?
We have Death Stranding on PC leaving.
Oh no,
on August 15th.
Oh no, Walking Simulator.
Edge of Eternity, Midnight Fight Express, and Total War Warhammer 3. That's one you might, maybe that was a big PC type game. It's PC only, of course. So.
I see.
Yeah, I had to say, like, some of these Game Pass drops not particularly impressive lately. It's not like they haven't had really good stuff on it. Like obviously Limbo, Short Hike, and I'm interested in Everspace 2 as being on something that I could play for the first time, like a new thing.
Yeah, and Carl, maybe we should talk about this just briefly here now. About Games with Gold is going away this month, right? I mean, the last drop came out for that, I think, and so the service is going to be changing soon.
Yeah.
So yeah. As well as the price hikes as well for Game Pass. So
yeah, I guess is that starting soon? I didn't even.
It's starting in September.
Okay.
Game Pass Ultimate's going to be, I think, $16.99. I think it is US dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's right. That's why I said earlier, cancel Game Pass.
Whoa.
Let's get this trending. Hashtag cancel.
Carl, damn it! Why didn't you get him the spiritual opium he needed this morning over there where you guys are? Yeah, something's wrong with Burley, man. Something's wrong with Burley.
Yeah, I mean, we know there's the thing is like we know there's stuff coming, right? Like Sea of Stars, like we like obviously Starfield and the big stuff, of course, Forza. But there's other things that have been announced. It's just yeah, I do kind of wish they would get some bigger sort of like third-party AAAs in there.
Yeah,
like they seem to not want to do that, or maybe who knows? Maybe those companies aren't interested in putting that stuff out on Game Pass right now. No, I mean, I think PlayStation does some of that, so it could just be a strategy difference. They just don't want to do those things.
Yeah. So anyway, Game Pass drops for early August, so you can go to Xbox.com. So for all you audio listeners, Xbox.com, you can see the drops for early August, and the link for all of you video viewers is down below here. So go and check that out. So Game Pass drops. All right. So next up, some programming notes. So obviously the Arena Productions, of course, we're not just about video games and game development news. We are also about entertainment and pop culture related shows that we do here on the Arena Productions, and some of our latest videos that we've come out with. If you're into Star Trek Season 2, Episode 9, the musical review, I did a little bit of singing in that review. So if you want to, watch me cringe and sing a little bit during that review, please go and check out that video. It's not too long, but anyway, the review of Episode 9 of Season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And also, of course, I also put up the sneak peek images that we have for the finale of Season 2, Episode 10 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, called Hegemony. So it's going to be an intense episode, I think, for all of us to watch. It comes out this coming Thursday. So anyway, I got the some sneak peek images for you up on the channel here on the Arena Productions. So please check out that video as well. And finally, Burley, it's time to announce our new show. So every weekday, Monday through Fridays, 4:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 12:30 p.m. British Summer Time, and here in Japan, 8:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, the Arena Productions live. We're going to be going live on weekdays again, everybody. So Burley and I were really excited to bring this to you. It's going to be video game stuff. It's going to be Marvel stuff, Star Trek stuff, Star Wars stuff, fantasy stuff, regular news type of stuff, just some fun and games type of stuff. We're going to be doing it. It'll probably run for about 45 minutes or so each day during the week, Monday through Fridays. And if you don't have a chance to watch it live, you can go to the new playlist that I'm going to have up on the Arena Productions for the Arena Productions Live, so you can watch it video on demand. So anyway, we're starting next week. So our first episode is Monday, August 7th. So Burley, what do you want to say about this?
I can't wait to do it. It'll be a lot of fun. And remember, just a little thing, any super chats at over $10, we each remove an article of clothing. And
Whoa.
Burley
Except
will
that
remove,
OnlyFans
Burley
account.
will remove an article of clothing. Yeah, I'll drink spiritual opium. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, it's obviously we're going to talk about news and everything, gaming related and entertainment, pop culture related and stuff. But we'll be just shooting the breeze, and we'll be talking about a lot of cool stuff as well. And we'll talk about some other news stories going on around the world and stuff like that too. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be fun to do again. So I mean, if a big gaming news stories comes up, we will cover it. You know, if there's big news pertaining to, you know, the MCU or to Star Wars, like with Ahsoka, that's going to be coming soon. Obviously, Star Trek Lower Decks, the new season is coming up there, so we might talk about that a little bit. We'll show some of the new trailers for the movies, you know, like sci-fi and movies that are coming out as well, and about TV shows. So we'll be discussing a lot of stuff there. So yeah, I mean, it's really going to be fun to do, and we're looking forward to bringing it to you here on the Arena Productions. So yeah, the Arena Productions live. So starting next Monday. So please go and check that out. Yes. And so I will here for you video viewers, I will leave you the information here. So Monday through Friday, 4:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 12:30 p.m. British Summer Time, 8:30 p.m. Japan Standard Time here on the Arena Productions YouTube channel. So it will be exclusive to the YouTube channel here. So for all of you subscribers, please come and check it out. Yes. So yeah, and those of you that are coming to our channel for the first time, please be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell for when we drop a new episode of the Arena Productions live when we start it next week, as well as all of our other content here on the Arena Productions. So those are our programming notes for this week. So now it's time to talk about the games that we will be playing this up and coming week. Obviously, I will be continuing with Star Wars Jedi Survivor and running across a bunch of walls and jumping and getting blisters on my fingers as usual. Carl, how about you? You finish with Wolfenstein. What are you going to play next?
Man, I mean, that Youngblood, I was playing a little. I'll probably try a little more, although I'm not really feeling playing more of a shooter at this moment. I feel like I got my fill in those two games, and I need to switch it up to something else.
Okay.
I have popped on State of Decay 2 a little bit in between, actually, I will admit.
Okay.
That is still my comfort game. Like when I don't know what to do and I just want to relax sometimes, I was like, I'll just pop that on. Like there's no expectations with it, you know, it'll just relax me. I don't feel like I'm getting deep into anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Everspace 2, when is that? The 15th? Oh, that won't even be next week. So
you got WrestleQuest on Tuesday, so you get your RPG fix and wrestling fixed up.
it would, you know, if you wanna, I don't know what it costs. I guess I can't buy it, right? You gotta wait.
Well, you can buy it on Tuesday when it goes live.
I might not be able to afford it, bro.
Right.
They're gonna reveal the price is like $90. No,
Good. They reveal that at $90. That'd be just like, let's put gun in mouth. That's what they're doing.
90 Canadian.
Oh,
It'll be US. It'll be like 30.
30 or 40. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
45.
because Canada, they just want to screw Canada.
Yeah. Japan, and it probably won't even be out here. So yeah.
Japan, what?
Are there any Japanese wrestlers?
1,500 yen.
Well, there might be. Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, wrestling is pretty popular here in Japan, but it's a different beast altogether than like in the U.S. with like the WWE and all that stuff. So
yeah. I mean, is it on TV regularly in Japan?
No, not regularly, just occasionally. Yeah. So
They want you to subscribe to the WWE network.
Yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Watch on your phone, tablet.
Yeah, if it's translated, I guess. Yeah, but or you could probably watch it late night. I mean, late night. I mean, early morning, basically, like 1 or 2 in the morning. You might be able to watch it. So, all right. So I want to thank Cammy Reaper for coming in, of course, and thank you all for viewing this episode of the Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. So thank you so much, and we appreciate all of your support, and we hope to catch you again next week. So before we end the episode, it's time for our indie recording artist spotlight before we play the music outro. So this week's indie recording artist spotlight is on Sunny Fruit. Sunny Fruit is a compelling composing and production project that effortlessly moves between genres and styles, making the music sound experimental and interesting. His works range from peaceful romantic instrumentals all the way to modern EDM music, with some soul, funk, and chill hop in between. From the title song of his album called Beat Blitz. So this has been the Arena, Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast, episode 141. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley of Burleman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next one. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming in and watching. And those of you that are going to watch later, video on demand, thank you so much. And we appreciate all of you viewers and your support. So take care, everyone, and enjoy the music outro. Peace out.